Hi everyone, welcome back to Crash Tale. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt too comfortable doing something, so comfortable that you stopped noticing the danger around you? Today's video is about exactly that, how familiarity turns into carelessness, and how ordinary comfort slowly, quietly becomes deadly. We're looking at two real-life tragedies, both involving people who weren't reckless, weren't inexperienced. They were simply comfortable, and that comfort made them blind to the danger that was already unfolding around them. On June 7, 2014, comedian Tracy Morgan was riding in a Mercedes Sprinter limo on the New Jersey Turnpike with a group of friends after a performance. It was late, nearly 1 a.m. Traffic was calm. Nothing about that night seemed unusual. A few miles behind them, a Walmart tractor-trailer was making the same trip. The driver, Kevin Roper, had been on the road too long. He was awake for 28 hours straight. But here's the part that connects to our theme. He had driven that route countless times. He knew the turnpike. He knew the timing. He knew the rhythm of the road. And that false sense of familiarity made him comfortable, way too comfortable. He didn't slow down when approaching traffic. He didn't notice the cars merging. He didn't realize the Sprinter with Tracy inside had slowed. In fact, he didn't even touch the brakes until 1 second before impact. The Walmart truck slammed into the back of Tracy Morgan's vehicle at high speed, crushing the back of the van and launching it into a deadly chain reaction. Tracy miraculously survived, but suffered severe brain trauma. His friend and fellow comedian James McNair died at the scene. When investigators reviewed the case, the NTSB concluded something painfully simple. Roper wasn't intentionally reckless. He wasn't trying to speed. He was just comfortable, too familiar with the road, too confident he could handle another night of driving, too numb to the risks he'd stopped noticing years ago. Comfort had slowly turned into carelessness, and one small moment, a moment where awareness should have been sharp, instead became the moment nobody could take back. What happened on that highway wasn't an isolated case. Comfort blinds even the most skilled people. And the same pattern unfolded again thousands of feet above Los Angeles with Kobe Bryant's longtime pilot, Ara Zobayan. On January 26, 2020, Kobe Bryant boarded a Sikorsky S-76B helicopter with his daughter Gianna and 7 others. Their pilot, Ara Zobayan, wasn't just a professional. He was Kobe's trusted pilot for years. A man who knew the LA skies the way most people know their own neighborhood. Zobayan had flown the same route many times. He knew the terrain. He knew the valleys. He knew the shortcuts around traffic. And that familiarity would become the quiet danger of the day. Los Angeles was covered in thick fog that morning. So thick that multiple police helicopters were grounded. Visibility was poor, and conditions were getting worse by the minute. But Zobayan, with years of experience and countless successful flights through LA's hazy skies, believed he could navigate it. The helicopter climbed, turned, dipped, all subtle adjustments he had done 1,000 times. But then came the moment the NTSB described as the critical turning point: spatial disorientation, a condition where even veteran pilots lose sense of up and down, left and right, because their eyes can't see and their inner ear sends false signals. In that moment, Zobayan wasn't reckless. He wasn't negligent. He simply trusted his instincts too much in conditions where instincts become unreliable. He believed he was climbing. In reality, the helicopter was descending, fast. Seconds later, they struck the hillside at roughly 180 miles per hour. No one on board survived. The final NTSB report concluded that the root cause wasn't equipment failure, wasn't weather alone, and wasn't recklessness. It was the pilot's decision to continue flight into adverse weather due to self-induced pressure and overconfidence in his ability to navigate through it. In other words, comfort, familiarity, the belief that I've done this before, I can do it again. A belief that day turned tragically wrong. So let these stories stay with you, not to scare you, but to remind you that routine can be blinding. Familiarity can dull your senses, and safety only exists when you stay aware, even in the moments that feel harmless. Because comfort creates carelessness, and carelessness, even for a second, can cost a lifetime.